Did you hear about the dust bunny that fell in love with a Roomba? It was swept away. I've recently decided to sell my vacuum cleaner. All it does is gather dust.
Shit, I hit the wrong button.
God damn, this is about as boring as sex with my wife.
You're listening to Weird Medicine with Dr. Steve on the Riotcast Network, riotcast.com.
I've got diphtheria crushing my esophagus. I've got Ebola vibes dripping from my nose. I've got the leprosy of the heart valve, exacerbating my incredible woes. I want to take my brain out and blast it with the wave, an ultrasonic, echographic, and a pulsating shave. I want a magic pill for all my ailments, the health equivalent to Citizen Kane. And if I don't get it now in the tablet, I think I'm doomed and I'll have to go insane. I want a requiem for my disease, so I'm paging Dr. Steve. Dr. Steve!
It's Weird Medicine, the first and still only uncensored medical show in the history of broadcast radio, now a podcast. Maybe soon to be a TV show. I'm Dr. Steve with my little pal Dr. Scott, the traditional Chinese medical practitioner who keeps the alternative medicine wackos at bay. Hello, Dr. Scott.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
The perfect combination of brains and bootay, it's Night Nurse Evie.
Hey, Dr. Steve.
And our in-studio intern, comedian Cliff Andrews, a.k.a. 49 Cent. Oh, sorry, Cliff. He's sitting behind me. He's observing. This is a show for, well, Cliff's here, too. This is a show for people who never listen to a medical show on the radio or the internet. If you've got a question you're embarrassed to take to your regular medical provider, if you can't find an answer anywhere else, give us a call. 347-766-4323. That's 347-POOHEAD. If you're listening to us live, the number 754-227-3647. That's 754...
Penis.
Well, okay,
Almost.
that's pretty close.
Well,
754-22-penis. Or 754... bare nip,
Yeah.
which is my favorite.
yeah, I like penis, though.
Well, I like bare nip, so there you go. Follow us on Twitter at Weird Medicine, at Lady Diagnosis, who isn't here today. She's off with her boyfriend. I knew as soon as she got a boyfriend, we'd never see her again. Mm-hmm. She was just here because she didn't have anything else to do.
She was bored.
And at Dr. Scott WM, visit our website at weirdmedicine.com or drsteve.com for podcast, medical news, and stuff you can buy, or go to our merch store at cafepress.com/weirdmedicine. Most importantly, we are not your medical providers. Take everything you hear with a grain of salt. Don't act on anything you hear on the show without talking it over with your doctor, nurse practitioner, physician assistant, pharmacist, chiropractor, acupuncturist, yoga master, physical therapist, or whatever. All right, very good. Thank you. Don't forget to go to Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net, simplyherbals.net. I saw somebody tweeted out that they got some Simply Herbal sinus rinse from you. Did you see that on your Twitter? This stuff is off the hook, I'm telling you, with no harmful medication in it. It's just, what is it, Scott? It's buffered saline with some peppermint oil in it.
Yep.
And
a few other proprietary
oh,
ingredients.
really? Is there some other proprietary stuff in here? Look at this label. Cliff, you're young. Can you read that fucking label?
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, oh, thank you.
No.
Thank you. And it's on crooked, too.
I've got my
But,
reading glasses if anybody needs
okay,
to
see if you can read it.
Okay.
Okay, here you go. Uh-oh, shit. Hand
got
that
you.
down to her.
All right.
I got you.
There has to be some rule against making the text so small that no one can read it, because what it's really saying is, you know, arsenic and
Yes.
hemlock.
Flying squirrel feces.
There it is.
Yeah.
Flying squirrel
Well,
feces.
too bad I left them at home.
Oh, you did? Okay,
next
well, can you
time.
read it?
I don't know.
Scott, here. Okay, Scott, you read it. Read,
Simply Herbal
Not
sinus
that
rinse.
part.
Honey, it works.
not part of that part. Read this part, you asshole.
can't read this.
He can't read it. His own label.
Hey, here's
Okay.
how I do it.
That's
I take a
something to
picture of it with my phone.
Yeah, and
then
then
I blow
blow
it
it
up.
up.
Blow it up,
So,
yeah.
it's all good.
All right.
Just shoot it in your nose and be done with it.
No, it's good. It's the greatest stuff in the world. And I'll have to tell you this. Now, this you're not selling on your on your website at simplyherbals.net. But that stuff you gave me for it was Xanthium, I think, for allergies.
Yeah, it's called Xanthium nasal formula. It's the best sinus formula I've ever seen,
and it was really good. And I was really surprised by that. It tasted like horse shit.
No,
it's it's doing something. It's not just sugar pill.
It's just not a sugar pill. That's right.
All of those things they don't bother. And I think this is fine. Adding other things to adulterate it to make it taste better or something, It
we don't have a bunch of fillers and sugars and stuff just to make them sweet,
right?
That's
or
not
some weird coating. There's nothing extra in there. It's just the stuff mushed into a pill.
So it tastes like earth. It tastes like earth.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, that's what it tastes like.
It tastes real. That's the way I describe it. Tastes like what it's supposed to taste like.
I was surprised by that. Again, anecdotal evidence, totally.
Yeah.
And but I was impressed by that. Yep. 4,000 years of traditional Chinese medicine, they figured some stuff out. There's no question about that.
Yep.
So,
totally.
But anyway, and you know me, I'm an empiricist, so I can't make any claims for this. So I can just say it helped. It made me feel better.
Right.
That's all I care about. It's all about me.
It's all about
Right.
Don't forget to go to stuff.drsteve.com, stuff.drsteve.com. For all your Amazon needs. Really makes a big difference. Please visit there, use it, and anytime you want to go to Amazon, go through stuff.drsteve.com. Thank you for doing that. I came up with the idea last show of doing a show at Tweaked Audio sometime in Franklin. We'll do a road trip. I think that would be fun as hell.
Who's driving?
We could hit some. We'll just Uber. Scott's rich.
That's right, I'm rich.
But we'll, we could hit some comedy clubs while we're there and just make a road trip out of
it. A couple breweries. I know a couple breweries.
Yeah,
oh,
let's do it. Let's do it. And we can write it off our taxes, too.
Right on.
So tweakedaudio.com, offer code FLUID for 33% off, the best earbuds on the market for the price and the best customer service of any company I've ever worked with. Unbelievable. etncomedy.com, we've got an event coming up August 2nd in Kingsport, Tennessee at the Allendale Mansion. It's a really nice venue. It's an outdoor venue, 1,200 place amphitheater. Bring your own chairs, blankets, whatever. It's going to be Vic Henley and two of the finalists from the Funniest Person in the Tri-Cities. Cliff hasn't committed yet, but I can't imagine he's going to say no to that. So you've been, that'll be a lot of fun. There will be music. I think Magic Mike Milhorn and his Cliff Diving Raiders or whatever the fuck is the name of his
band. Yeah,
the name of the band is going to play. And so he might
let us sit in with him.
You might see your old buddy Dr. Steve on the bass, and he may, if he's ready, let Dr. Scott, pick a little on his ukulele or whatever that stupid.
He just won't let me plug in.
Yeah,
he'll let me sit up.
Yeah, you'll look good.
I'll play.
Dr. Scott looks good.
That's all right, but I can't play with this shit.
And so that's August 2nd. Go to etncomedy.com. There's information on accommodations if you want to come from out of town. We're all going to hang out afterward. It is a Thursday night. That's the one issue. But come and then, I don't know, go do something else for the rest of the weekend. And if you're interested in archives of this show, of course, after this first 8 minutes, why would you be? But go to premium.drsteve.com. You can get our full archive for $1.99 a month. You can subscribe. And the best place to listen to our show, if you're going to do the premium route, is to go to the App Store and get the Weird Medicine app. And that can be obtained at the Google Play or the iTunes App Store. All right. Very good. We've got a couple of people on hold. I just wanted to throw out, there was an article recently that came out about high-protein diets that were linked to heightened risk for heart disease, and this was even for vegetarians. So this is from, QZ.com, not the prestigious medical journal. But I'll just read you from this article. It says, for 20 years, a team of researchers watched more than 2,400 Finnish men eat. Anyway, okay. were they in the clean plate club? Anyway, sorry. Anyway. Oh, shit.
And this
Well,
is
I'm just
about
fucking
as
myself
boring
up.
as sex with my wife.
Okay. So they watched 2,400 men from Finland eat. And what they learned gave us a glimpse into some of the long-term health effects of one of today's most popular dieting fads. So they link this to the Atkins diet. And this is where all of these articles tend to go awry. They're saying ketogenic diets and Atkins diets are now unhealthy. Okay, and they said this new study published this week by the American Heart Association shows that eating a lot of protein derived from both plants and animals is linked to an elevated risk of cardiovascular failure. Even still, the University of Finland researchers who undertook the study noted in the paper that many unanswered questions about their findings remain. For example, it's not clear how and why various amino acids abundant in animal protein sources lead to poor heart function. Okay, they didn't say that. What they said was there was a correlation between people who ate a high protein diet and the risk of heart failure later in life. Now, the numbers were unbelievably small and that I've got to get these numbers, but out of 2,400 people, there may have only been 10 people with heart failure, and and so the absolute risk is very small. The relative risk looks high. So let's say in the group that weren't on the high protein diet, and they have to compare them to a normal population that is matched, and I don't know that they did that. So I have not delved deep into this study yet, but I will over the next couple of weeks. So you have to match those cohorts or groups of people that you're following. And what if there was, if there were 7 people in that group and 10 people, and I'm just throwing out a number, it could have been 70 and 100, I don't know. But the relative risk would be 30%, right?
Mm.
There was 30% more heart failure in the group that ate a high protein diet, but the absolute risk was 3 out of 2,400. So the risk to the individual is very low. So we'll have to see. Now, the thing is, I have lots of other data. So let's look at this one. The effects of this is a study in the journal Nutrients, and this is a one of those systematic reviews where they look at it's a review article where they're looking at other things. And I just lost my place here. Shit. Hang on. Sorry. Okay. So based on the available literature, a ketogenic diet. Now, a ketogenic diet is a low carbohydrate diet, and Atkins is a ketogenic diet. Isn't necessarily high protein, in the sense that Atkins said that you should eat lots of green leafy vegetables and then lean animal protein, and fat wasn't the enemy. You could have some fat. And he was a proponent of the low carbohydrate diet. Well, by lowering the carbohydrates, you're increasing the relative amount of protein in your diet, right? Yeah. But it doesn't have to be, the true Atkins diet is not what a lot of people think it is. Well, I just eat steak and bacon all day. That Atkins would be rolling over in his grave if he thought people were calling that the Atkins diet, because that's not what it is. Spinach, lettuce, kale, all that stuff was a big part of Atkins' diet. Those were all low carbohydrate vegetables, green leafy vegetables. Well, anyway, it says here, based on the available literature, ketogenic diet may be associated with some improvements in some cardiovascular risk factors, such as obesity, type 2 diabetes, good cholesterol levels. It says these effects are usually limited in time. And they said as ketogenic diets are often rich in fat, some negative effects could happen. And there are lots of other studies that I could pull up that show true beneficial effects of a ketogenic diet, particularly when it comes to type 2 diabetes and obesity. So, this is not the answer to everything. And I don't like it when journalists take high protein and then say, well, that means he's talking about the Atkins diet or other, ketogenic type diets, because that's not necessarily what they're talking about. They're talking about people who eat a relatively increased amount of protein compared to other people on the planet. You can have an Atkins diet, eat the same amount of protein as anybody else.
Yep.
You don't have to eat 6 chicken, broiled
bacon
chicken
wrapped
fillets.
chicken.
Right.
Chicken fillets, yeah.
I mean, my perfect Atkins meal was always a grilled chicken salad, and the bulk of that was the bowl of salad, with a little bit of chicken on it, or tofu even, So anyway, nobody's going to tell me that meal is unhealthy. It's insane to assert that. Okay.
Agreed.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, Dr. Scott's pescatarian. Could you ever imagine someone telling you that a grilled salmon salad, like they serve at our local fusion place, it's spinach, vinaigrette, strawberries or whatever, and then a nice piece of baked or broiled salmon? How in the hell could anyone assert that that's unhealthy? That's a typical Atkins type meal, or a typical ketogenic meal.
It would be tough for someone to sell it to me, that's for sure.
I agree that these people that, I used to call it the redneck Atkins diet. I don't know why I called it that, but a lot of my people I talked to were like, yeah, eat that meat diet. And they were just literally eating steak, mayonnaise, cheese, and bacon. Now, that you will lose weight on that. There's no question about it, because you're malnourished.
Yeah.
Right. You can lose weight on a high carbohydrate diet, too. The Duke used to do this thing called the rice diet, and it was a diet high in carbohydrates, and those people would lose weight. That's another way that you can lose weight. Again, those people were relatively malnourished. So I've always liked the typical balanced ketogenic diet, or Vinnie Tortorich's no sugar, no grains diet, because it's balanced and you're getting all the nutrients that you need. You're not really losing anything. We don't need all those carbohydrates. Our ancestors didn't have them. Think of a caveman running around, a hunter-gatherer. What would they eat? They didn't have bread, and they might have had potatoes if they knew how to dig them up, or guava, or cassava root. In sub-Saharan African countries, they'll have, that's a staple, but you don't have that all year round. And you have to discover it first. So they would have had carbohydrates when there were berries on the trees, and when the grasses were after they flowered, had gone to seed. And even that's not a whole lot of carbohydrate. That's more a grain product, and you're getting all that, the bran along with it. So anyway, all right. So I call a little bit of bullshit on this study.
Yep.
And we'll look into the actual relative versus absolute numbers in a future show. Scott, remind me to do that, will you?
Sure.
Okay.
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor, you can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
All right. Area code 617. Matt, you're on Weird Medicine.
Hey, Dr. Steve. You guys and gals, great.
Hey, thanks.
So, I have a older brother, and he was diagnosed with early onset dementia around 58.
Oh, my goodness.
He's about 64 now, and it's really kicked in.
Yeah.
And so the question is, what should I expect at this point?
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear about your brother. I hate dementia almost as much as I hate cancer, because, where cancer ravages the body, dementia just ravages the personality. Mm-hmm. It's not just the mind, it's not just the memory, but the person goes away over time. Yeah. And what tends to happen with patients with progressive dementia is a long, slow decline, punctuated by episodes, particularly at the end, of decompensation. So what may happen is he may get a urinary tract infection, and it'll kick him into a higher level of dementia, meaning worsening memory loss, or physical trauma. Patients with early dementia who break their hip, for example, and then have to have their hip repaired will do good for a couple of days, and then they'll just be bouncing off the walls. And then this long, slow, inexorable decline to the point where they lose the ability to smile, they lose the ability to eat on their own, lose the ability to walk. And when the patient is having difficulty walking and eating and is no longer even talking to you, has maybe one word that they use consistently, that's a time when you can consider hospice. Because what you got to decide is, would my brother want to be kept alive artificially under these circumstances, given this? And it's his decision. He just can't speak it anymore. So you all, whoever his primary decision maker is, has to make decisions based on his values and desires. And that's, for the medical students out there, this is a board question, that's called the principle of substituted judgment. So the family has to start making decisions. Now, let me tell you something, Matt. If you spoke sign language and your brother was deaf, and let's just hypothesize that you're his decision maker, I would speak to you, you would sign to him, he would sign to you, you would speak to me. Now, any decisions made in that loop, right, wouldn't be your decisions, they'd be his, right? Sure. This is an analogous situation, except now you have to reach into the past to get those answers. Mm-hmm. But when you reach into the past to get those answers, if your brother said, if I was ever totally debilitated, I wouldn't want to be kept alive artificially. When you communicate that to the health team, that's not your decision, that's his. Mm-hmm. You're just speaking with his voice because he can't. And for whoever his decision maker is, he is counting on them to make decisions for him based on what his values are. So it's
right. So fortunately, before his big decline, he did make that decision with his wife. So she's in that position to make those decisions.
Good. Okay. And he did.
So a quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
A quick follow up. About a month ago, he had a grand mal. Yeah. And then he ended up getting the MRIs and all that. Because he fell at the time.
Okay.
And he ended up being okay. He was discharged from the hospital like a day later. And for about 3 to 5 days afterwards, he clearly wasn't back to the person he was 10 years ago, but he was quite happy and very lucid. Have you seen that?
That's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, seizures, that's the principle behind electroconvulsive therapy for depression. You get these folks and they have what we call psychomotor retardation, where they've just become so slow and they're just so weak, and no medication will help them. And then they'll induce a seizure with electroconvulsive therapy, and obviously that's a last resort, and it amazingly works. It doesn't matter how you induce the seizure. You can. They used to do it by giving them an overdose of insulin, believe it or not. And then they found a more humane way to do it, and then they get better. So there could be a component of depression in your brother, or it could be that just the seizure affected his brain in a positive way for a short period of time. Patients with dementia, about 10% of those will have at least one unprovoked seizure, and seizure disorder is just, basically static in the brain that just runs wild. Mm-hmm. And it usually is self-limited. If it's not self-limited, it's a medical emergency. It's called status epilepticus. So most seizures will come, and then the brain has a mechanism for shutting them down once it starts. But yeah, that's rough, man. I'm sorry to hear about your brother, and that's a relatively early age to get dementia too. And I'm assuming they did a complete workup on him and didn't find some weird thyroid disorder or anything like that.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. He was in the hospital for a couple of days.
Okay.
So he ended up being okay in that respect.
Scott, go ahead, Scott.
I've got something interesting, may or may not be relevant, but Chris Christopherson was diagnosed with dementia, and they felt like he had Alzheimer's.
Okay.
And was really deteriorating quickly. He had some. They put him on anti-seizure medications because he had a couple seizures and he had aches and pains all over. But for in his mid-70s, that was an issue. And they thought he was going to die of the Alzheimer's, and he wound up having Lyme disease. Now, and I'm not saying that's what he may have. I'm just saying that is not, for someone that young, I would at least have someone rule it out. Dr. Steve, I mean, I'm not trying to give any false hope. I'm just saying, but that's a discussion to at least consider. Yeah.
I mean, we need to make sure that go ahead, man.
Right. Yeah. And Dr. Scott, a great point. We ran across some literature on that, 5 or 6 years ago, and we made sure he was tested for that.
Good.
For good or for bad. He that was not.
Okay.
He did not or not.
Well, at least we know. Yeah.
Yeah, and just to
to
talk a little bit about Lyme disease. Lyme disease is caused by a Borrelia species that is very closely related to syphilis. Mm-hmm. And so that's why you have, with syphilis, you'll have a primary dermatologic phase, right? Mm. And then it goes away. So you get the chancre, then it goes away, and then you have this latent phase, and then when it comes back, it affects the brain and the heart and other places like that. And so tertiary syphilis sucks really, really bad. And Lyme disease, kind of the same thing. You get this primary dermatologic manifestation. You get this weird rash. I've seen it. I used to practice in Vermont, and I've seen it.
Yeah, sure.
And then if you don't treat it right, then it'll go away. You think you're fine, and then when it comes back, then you've got problems. And I guess that's what happened to Chris Christopherson.
Yep.
So.
Yep.
But anyway.
Well, shoot.
Yeah, man. Keep in touch with me. If there's anything I can do to help walk you through this, I'd be more than happy to. My email is let me see, weirdmedicine@riotcast.com. You can try that one, or weirdmedicinexm@gmail.com. Or you can just go to drsteve.com and click contact and ignore the warnings. That's not for you guys that listen to the show. The warnings that say don't leave medical questions here. And
right. So okay, we'll do that. We'll follow up. Guys, really appreciate your help.
Thanks, man.
Best of luck.
That's the central nervous system is the last frontier for medicine, and eventually we will figure out a way not only to prevent Alzheimer's but to treat those cases when they happen, or at least arrest its development. So it's coming. That's probably, I'm guessing, 15, 20 years off, but they're on it. All right.
That's good.
Thanks, man.
Thanks again.
Okay, be good. Let's take area code 304. You're on Weird Medicine.
Hey, what's up, Doc?
Hey, man. What can we do for you?
My name is Dan. I work for Ramp Salt.
Oh, it's the Ramp Salt dude. Yeah, so we were just talking about you, or did you hear us and that's why you called in?
Oh, I called in because you're probably one of the coolest dudes I've ever seen.
Oh, whatever.
There you go.
You're making his head swell.
Bullshit. We just plug your stuff.
You've been plugging my stuff, so I can't really argue with that.
Yeah. No, it's awesome, man. Everybody here has tried it except for Cliff, the intern. And I've actually, I think I have a bottle for you as well. Do you cook? You cook? Yeah, he cooks. Okay. You've tried it, right, Evie? And Scott, did you try it? Yeah. You tried it on some fish?
Yeah, I made it in fish, and I made a little kind of a taco or a burrito thing the other night and threw it in there just as extra little seasoning. Yeah, it was very good.
It's way more complex and subtle than like garlic salt.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's way more. And if you guys want to check it out, go to wvrampsalt.com. Now, what was this controversy about somebody stole your website or something? What was that about?
In 1995, I developed this system. I was sitting around the campfire, and everybody was talking about we're going to make a cookbook.
Okay.
I decided, okay, well, if you can make this, if you can make that, I know how to make ramp salt. It took me a little over 10 years, and I developed a process and came up with ramp salt.
So it's actually
Now,
hard to do. I just figured you just dried out a bunch of ramps and crumbled them up and threw it in with some kosher
that's the mistake
salt.
everybody makes. I don't dry out anything.
Really?
I have ramp salt in my house right now that I've been curing for over 10 years.
Holy crap.
Oh, gosh.
Okay,
And
interesting.
it's the best tasting salt ever.
Yeah.
You're going to find out. Just packaged up something for you. I'm going to send it to you. It's amazing.
Cool, man.
You open the lid. Make sure there's 2 or 3 people around you, because when you open it, it's a 1-ounce jar, and it will definitely make your mouth water.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
Has anything like
That's
All
what
right,
I'm
so the
talking about.
controversy is, I was in a relationship, and I moved to a new place, and the mail wasn't forwarded to me. And I didn't update my domain.
Oh, yeah.
So I logged into my website, and it said, huge domains.
Oh,
And they tried to sell it back to me for $5,000.
Oh, God, I hate that.
I hate
I
people.
said, that ain't happening. So I said, fuck you. Excuse my language. I know you guys don't.
No, we've never heard that word before.
Yeah, okay. So I said, fuck you. I'll just add WV to it, and I'll get it back.
Oh, so it used to be
tried to
ramsalt.com, and now it's wvramsalt.com. Let's look up ramsalt.com. Let me see. Let's just look them up and see what they're doing with it, because I'll bet you you can buy it for
I know what they're doing
$5
with
right
it.
now.
Now they're going to sell it to you for $3,000.
Yeah. Because I had to buy
about
drsteve.com. Oh, yeah. Ramsalt.com is for sale. Buy now. Okay, they dropped the price to $23.95.
Yeah, and on July 1st, I don't really want to publicize this, but on July 1st, it becomes for sale again. Unless it's automatically stated,
Oh, I
I'm going to
see.
steal it back.
Yeah. I wonder how much they got it for. I wonder how much these places get these things for.
Fucking $10.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Yeah.
They want to exploit you.
I walk around my house and buy websites all day. You can go on Whois and look up refrigeratorpotatoes.com. I probably own it.
Right. Okay. Well, okay, dude, I am totally rooting for you to get this domain back. So when did you say it's going on sale again?
July 1st.
Okay. Keep us in the loop, just because I love drama.
Yes.
And I want the little guy to win, because this pisses me off, because I almost lost
said I'm a little
drsteve.com, the same thing. And I thank God I caught it, because it was just getting ready to be taken away from me. And same deal. I'd missed the emails. Mm-hmm. And so I've got it set on auto renew and to text me and all this stuff, because I know sure as shit.
My stuff is,
Yeah, go
all
ahead.
my new stuff is on auto renew. I didn't know I could even do that.
Yeah.
I'm literally just a redneck that lives in the fucking woods and make a product that I'm really proud of.
Yeah.
I know it's really good.
Yeah, it's awesome,
I'm
man.
getting fucked.
Yeah.
I ain't paying.
Dude was just a dick, though.
Well,
No.
West Virginia Ramsalt.
We're
But now I have
absolutely
to send
going
my
to
label.
root for you to get this stupid domain back. So now, of course, all
not stupid.
the maniacs who listen to this, they're going to be sitting there waiting to try to get it themselves. So if you assholes do that, at least sell it back to them for $50. If you get it for 10, you can make $40 profit, but that no more than that.
$100 says he just based on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's going to auto renew.
You think that's
No
what they
question.
do? They just auto renew everything and
Why wouldn't you?
yeah, I guess.
I was number one.
Yeah.
I had that website since 1995. I was number one. If you typed in the word ramp, I was on Info, Bigfoot, Yahoo, Google.
Yep.
I was number one.
Well, let's see what happens when we Google ramps now. Let's see.
Go ahead. You'll go to LS or L something salt factory or whatever the fuck it is.
Okay, yeah, eater.com. Yeah, huffingtonpost.com. Oh, yeah, ramp.com. Oh, no, that's enterprise content delivery. Let me see. Let me put in ramps. There we go.
Now, if you type in WV Ramsalt,
Oh, yeah. Well, of
Okay.
course. You type in weird medicine. I mean, weird medicine comes up first, but let's see here.
I know, but I'm trying to keep brands. I'm sending out just day after day telling people, hey, you don't need to buy anything, just click me.
Yep. Okay, now here this
So you
J.Q. Dickinson Salt Works is selling it.
Yep.
And then
Because
that's
West Virginia, the salt industry, it's where the salt started.
yeah, okay. Washington Greengrocer. How to make your own. Yeah, I'm not seeing you. Oh boy, that sucks. Okay.
Yeah, don't it?
Okay, so here's how you get your and we'll talk about this off the air, but one thing that we need to do is link to you, and if other people link to your website, you'll move up in those Google rankings. So anyway.
That's why I keep telling people.
Yep.
Just log on.
All right.
Hit me.
Cool, man. We're on it.
All right, I have a medical question for you.
Yeah, sure.
For the last month, every day when I wake up, my eyes are full of goop.
Yep.
Can almost not see.
Okay.
And all through the day, my eyes are watering. I've never had allergies before. And I don't really do any.
Well, you do now.
You do now.
Yes.
So you need to get two things. During the acute phase of this, when your eyes are watering during the day, I would get the over-the-counter drop called Zaditor. And Zaditor is an antihistamine eye drop. And, it used to be prescription only. It's really works well. Now, if the other thing that you may want to get, because when you're allergic like this, you're just wiping off the nice coating over the eye, the sort of lubricating coating over the eye itself. Get an eye drop called Systane Ultra, Systane Ultra. And that will re-lubricate your eye, and it'll last almost all day. So you can put it in. You put the Zaditor in before you get in the shower, do your thing, stretch your stuff, and get your clothes on. Then as you're going out the door, put the Systane in, and that should get you through the day. And then these allergy, you're allergic to something that's in the air. Wouldn't it be hilarious if it were ramps? But you're allergic to something, and most of these things are it'd be hilarious. These things are seasonal, and usually the time when they're producing whatever antigen they're producing is usually 2 to 3 weeks, and then you'll be done with it. So, all right, buddy.
I'm trying to read this little bottle so I can tell you what my local pharmacist told me to get.
Okay.
And all I can read is
We'll
the
wait.
bright red label. I'm kind of blind, too.
Just do what I told you to do. Fuck that guy.
Anyway, Doc, thank you.
Okay, man. Check him out. Check Ben out at West Virginia Ramp Salt, wvrampsalt.com. Really is a cool product. I don't mind plugging it.
All right,
Yeah, it's really good.
He's a cool guy. He just reached out to us, sent us some. It's like, hell yeah, I'll plug that.
So wait till you try the new one.
Okay. Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thanks, man.
See you, dude.
See ya.
Thanks for the
see ya.
salt. Yeah.
Okay. Area code 954 is on hold. Let's see here. Yeah, don't go away. From Miami, area code 954. We'll get you on the next show. So it'll be take us about 5 minutes. And then we'll do one more, and then we'll be done for the day. Okay. All right? Thanks always go to Dr. Scott, Night Nurse Evie, Intern Cliff. We can't forget about Rob Sprance, Bob Kelly, Greg Hughes, Anthony Cumia, Jim Norton, Travis Teff, Eric Nagel, Roland Campos, Sam Roberts, Pat Duffy, Dennis Falcone, Ron Bennington, Fez Watley, whose early support of this show never went unappreciated and is still appreciated. Listen to our SiriusXM show on the Faction Talk channel, SiriusXM channel 103, Saturdays at 8 p.m. Eastern, Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern, on demand, most importantly, and other times at Don Wickland's pleasure. Don't forget to go to stuff.drsteve.com whenever you can to shop at Amazon, and also use Dr. Scott's website at simplyherbals.net. Many thanks go to our listeners whose voicemail and topic ideas make this job very easy. Go to our website at drsteve.com for schedules and podcasts and other crap. Check out our friend Ben at WestVirginiaRampSalt.com. And Scott, you got anything new on Simply Herbals these days?
No, just a nasal spray. We use so much of that stuff. Eventually, I'll make a tablet form.
You're going to make your fortune on nasal rinse.
Let's hope so. That and beer.
Yeah, what's going on with our beer permit? You have 10 seconds.
Going in front of the beer board on Tuesday.
Okay.
Keep your fingers crossed. We're good to go.
All right.
Everything's
come
lined
visit
up.
us
Everything's
at
lined
the
up.
Beer Run in Kingsport, Tennessee, and we're moving to a new location.
We will be about 2 minutes from the Allendale, so people can come to the comedy show and come straight to the Beer Run afterwards for food and beer.
All right, we'll see you in 1 week for the next edition of Weird Medicine. Check your stupid nuts for lumps. Quit smoking. Get off your asses.